Hi, welcome to my channel. In this topic, I will talk about escheatment of unclaimed check. This is a new feature in account payables fusion. So let's start to know everything about this feature. First of all, for any features, you have to know what is the business requirement or what is the business needs of this feature, and after that you talk about it with your organizations that there is one features do 1, 2, 3. If it's okay with them, you can start to implement it on dev instance or non-production instance. After that, you can deploy the same steps on production instance. So what is the escheatment of unclaimed check? It's identify and escheat unclaimed check issued for EP payment to suppliers or employees for expense payment that haven't been presented for clearing during a specific period of time, and the transfer amount to the appropriate local authority. As you know that in EP or account payables, you can do payment for supplier or employees for petty cash, for whatever. For some cases that this payment is not presented for clearing. What does it mean? That clearing means is not available or it's not coming to your for example bank statement for clearing process or reconciliation process. As you know that the payment accounting option, you have either when payment issue or when payment issue and clearing in manage payment option. When you select that the accounting of payment when payment issue and clearing, once you make a payment for suppliers or employees, the debit side will be the supplier or the employee, and the credit side will be cash clearing. Cash clearing means once you navigate to the cash clearing, you will find this EP payment is there. Once you receive the bank statement, you can proceed with clearing the bank statement line with this payment. For some cases, that this payment is stuck there and is not or haven't been presented for clearing. So in this case, or these features will like write off or will close the clearing account and remove it or move the amount of this cash clearing to another account, which is, we will find it now, which is unclaimed fund. Escheatment also is a legal process in which the government takes control of asset unclaimed for a long time. The state authority holds abandoned properties or dormant account for a limited period. It just allows the owners, beneficiary or legal heir to reclaim them. Process from the sale of these assets go toward state funds. Failure to comply with state unclaimed property laws can allow the state to take legal action against the holder, in addition to charging high penalties. These features improve compliance with legal regularization by reporting unclaimed check payments which are not cashed in a specific time period, and transfer such payments to the escheatment authority or unclaimed fund. You can also generate a report with a list of all payments that are escheated or initiated for escheatment. What is the access requirement to do these features? First of all, as you know that we have a privilege called escheat unclaimed payment. It's predefined to secure the initiate escheat and escheat actions in manage payment page. Also, there is a new privilege is added to seeded duty rule called Payables payment processing duty. This duty rule assigned to seeded accounts payable supervisor and account payable manager job rule. What is the prerequisites? Like what is how to implement it? First of all, in manage common options for payables and procurement, you have to enter the unclaimed fund. This is unclaimed fund account. When you make or start or initiate the escheat features and the payment status changed from negotiable to escheated, the amount will be moved from cash clearing account to escheated or this unclaimed fund. Also, this is during setup and maintenance financial managed payment options, you have to enter minimum days to initiate escheatment. Like example 90 days, 60 days, 30 days, this is up to your requirement. And as you see here for account of payment, when we said before that at payment issue and clearing, so the accounting for payment will be at 2 time payment, 1 time, and clearing when you clearing the same payment from cash clearing to close the cash clearing and open cash account of the bank. As you see here, if we looking for the payment through payable payment, manage payment, you have to search for example payment date or for example before specific days which is matched with our minimum days of escheat like 90 days or whatever. So you will find a lot of payment status is negotiable. Negotiable means once you navigate to cash management, you will find all of these payment payable in cash management, and you can do the reconciliation process either manual or automatic. You can also select that choose a payment, for example my specific one of these payment, and initiate escheat that this for example is stuck for 90 days and this also there is no clearing will is happened or haven't been proceed for clearing, so I will initiate the escheat for specific payment or a lot of payment. Once you select, this warning message will pop up that one payment will be initiated for escheatment which cannot be reversed. What does it mean? That once you initiate the escheat of any payment, you cannot reverse it or you cannot roll back again to the first status which is negotiable. Once you click OK, that here there is one options or error that you can initiate escheatment only for a check payment. This is because that the processing type of the BBB choosing in the payment is electronic and not printed. Escheatment can be initiated only for check printed payments. So you have to search for another payment check, for example any other check which has payment document which is the type is for example printed or check on or whatever, and again you have to initiate the escheated. This is only one you can, it will be initiated for escheated. For example here this one payment when we said before that this is electronic, so this one payment is initiated for escheatment, that the payment status is escheatment initiated or whatever once you select action and initiate escheatment. Again, this the first status once you initiate the escheatment, that status changed from negotiable to escheatment, and it must for the printed payment type only like check. After that one payment will be escheated which can be reversed, yes, and here once you also again select like in escheat, it will be selected for escheatment. Here once you try to create accounting type, we talk about that before the status is negotiable. Negotiable means that the debit side is supplier or employee, credit side is cash clearing. You selected one of the payment and initiate the escheatment, and status changed from negotiable to escheated initiated. Then status again selected for escheatment. After that, you need to try to make the status of the accounting changed from fully accounted to partially accounted. Why? Because it changes status. Change status escheated means that the account of the cash clearing will be like again debit, and escheated or unclaimed fund account will be credit. So once you escheated the payment, you have to run accounting again one more time to close the cash clearing and open unclaimed fund account. When you find this, that the accounting couldn't be completed because there is one part in SLA you still not completed. What is this part? Is that you have to navigate to accounting method which is assigned to your ledger, and select for escheatment payments for the module or sub-ledger payable, and select escheatment payment and make it status active. Once it's activated, now it's active, just you have to activate this event class only and ensure that the status changed to active. After that, you can come again to payment status, try to create accounting, and the status will be escheated, that escheatment process is completed. What is the accounting entries after the escheated or the payment is escheated completely successfully? As you see here, first of all, that as I told you, between cash clearing in the credit, liability, debit. Once it's escheated, cash clearing will debit to close the first accounting which is in credit side, and open the escheated payment in credit side instead of cash clearing. This escheated payment, which is our our unclaimed fund, which we path as a prerequisite setup in our escheatment or payment options. This is the first part here, like escheated, that as you know, it's like a feature in some cases that I need to instead of reverse the payment and again make another payment or whatever, it's like a move the accounting entries from cash clearing to liability. I think it's a good offer if in your organization, in some cases or for some reasons, there are some of payments still stuck in cash clearing without any clearing process for whatever, as we put before, 90 days, 60 days, and so on. And also there is one report, that is escheated payment listing report. You have to select business process. This from schedule process. You can select the specific name that is escheated, path the business unit, payment date from to, and select payment status, which is already escheated or escheatment initiated or selected for escheatment, or keep it null to bring to you all of the payment status in selected and escheatment and escheated. This also, it will be a list all escheated payment along with the long time or for the specific time which you put it again in the minimum days of escheated. And once you run it and its status succeeded, you just try to view the output. As you see, the output business unit from to blah blah blah, and escheated payment listing report. You will find the payment either selected for escheatment or escheated or escheated initiated or whatever. Second part is invoice creation for remitting escheated payment to the escheatment authority. These features, before to talking about the releases, that you have to use escheatment process in Payables to transfer payment amount again of unclaimed check to supplier and employees to the appropriate local authority. The previous release support the identification and selection of stale payments, initiating escheatment process, escheating statement or stale payment, and creating related accounting, which we see it later. This release automates the line invoice creation and the transfer to escheatment authority. Now, in case of you need that, we talked about before that this account will be in credit side, right? So at which time it will be knock off, or it will be closed, or in which time will be in debit side to close it, because once you go to now to trial balance, you will find this amount is in credit side. So in somehow, if you need to close it, so you can also create an invoice from this escheated payment to close this escheated payment. So either you keep this amount in trial balance or account analysis, so once the account manager or whatever sees this amount, he will know that there are some of payment check is escheated, and this amount include all of the payment who is escheated. But in case of they need to knock off this account, so this the other part here, that you can also create an invoice for this escheatment payment to transfer or to close this unclaimed account or unclaimed fund account. Again, you can select here the payment who is escheated before. This here the payment is escheated, and go to escheatment and select create invoice. So for the payment you will have three status, that either initiate escheatment, there is the first one. After that, go ahead with escheat, status will be changed from initiated to escheated. After that, in case of you need to close this unclaimed fund account to be in debit side, you can create an invoice for the same escheated payment which you escheated it previously. After that, you select that you can also search for escheatment authority, that enter party or whatever, and select the invoice. Once you create the invoice, again go to manage payment or invoice, search for the specific party or whatever, and you will find a lot of numbers which is started by escheatment. Escheatment means that this is like automatic invoice created based on escheated AB payment. Once you go to there, you will find that description, escheatment, blah blah blah, and the amount, and you will find that the distribution combination here is our unclaimed check fund, which is credit in previous payment and here became debit. Again, you can also run this process, that remittance of payment to escheatment authority, select business unit payment from to, and here you will find a lot of escheatment payment details, like what is the supplier business unit, payment number, amount, method, currency date, check number, and all of these things. Accounting entries, that when your accounting entries for the payment and the escheatment payment, when offset segment option is set to no and the account for payment option is set payment issue and clearing, you will find that debit, supplier liability, credit, cash clearing. When payment is escheated, cash clearing will be debit, unclaimed fund account will be credit. When you create invoice on the escheatment authority or the escheated payment, you will find what? Debit, unclaimed fund account, credit, escheatment authority liability account. So again, for the escheatment payment until here, make a payment, cash clearing will be debit and it will be unclaimed. In case of you create invoice, again continue that the debit will be unclaimed, credit, escheatment authority liability account. This is that like a summary of the accounting entries. In case of you only apply escheatment for only payment, or apply the escheatment for or escheatment process for EP payment and EP invoice. Generation of accounting entries for the escheated payment will be different based on offset segment and the when to account of payment option, because during as I show you before, that the payment accounting option either when payment issue or when payment clear or when payment issue and clearing. So based on that, the accounting entries will be different from these to these. And also offset segment, as you know that offset segment, if you have a multi-balancing segment at the invoice and also at cash payment, there are multi-balancing segments. Also the accounting entries will be different for each of these cases. Tips and considerations: you must account an escheated payment before you create escheatment invoice, because the unclaimed fund account must be raised like a credit. After that, you can escheated the invoice. You cannot create escheatment invoice for still payment that settle invoices belonging to different invoice business unit. It must be the same business unit of the payment, the same legal entity of the payment. You can only create escheatment invoice for the escheatment authority supplier site assigned to the invoicing business unit, and this is what is the escheatment AP payment and AP invoice. It's a feature. I think most of organization using it, and some of them not using. By the end, up to you. Thanks for watching. Good luck.